Behind the Mirror of Music with Dannii Cohen.
Hello and welcome to Behind the Mirror of Music. My name is Dannii Cohen. This week's guest is Anouk van Laake. Anouk van Laake began her career in the Netherlands and Germany, starring in the musicals Mozart das Musical, West Side Story, Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, the great Lloyd Gala, as well as working in opera. After this, she moved to the UK, where she performed the roles of Christine Daaé in The Phantom of the Opera and Fantine in Les Miserables on West End during 2021 and 2025. During this time, she often joined Behind the Mirror of Music to talk about her preparations and research for the roles. Here we compile all episodes, including a brand new episode, where we look back on her time in both roles and celebrate 40 years of Les Miserables. I hope that you'll enjoy the show. Hi.
Hi, Dannii.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good too. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
When did you know you wanted to be in musical theater?
Ooh, I think when I knew for sure I wanted it to be my profession, I think I was around 12. I was in the musical Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat in Holland as one of the kids. And I loved it so much. And I saw the people around me doing it as a real job every single day. And I thought, oh, it's really my dream to do this every day as well. So when I was 12, I was absolutely sure that I wanted to do this.
It's a lovely musical, Joseph.
Yeah, it's great. It was Lloyd Webber's first, of course. I think he was only 18 or 16, so...
Something like that. He wrote it for a school musical, and then it became
what
it is now.
Yeah, and it's like every single musical style put together in one musical. It's really fun.
True. You worked in Germany before going to the UK. What was that like?
Yeah, it was great. It was a tour. It was the great Lloyd Webber Gala. So it was a show, a concert, really with every single show Andrew has written. And it was a tour where we stayed only one day at a theater, and then the next day went to another, and then another, and then another. So it was really quite quick, and you didn't spend a long time in one place. So it was a bit of a rush always. But it was great. You got to see so many places and so many theaters, and that was really lovely.
Yes, Germany is a great musical country as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, great.
You were in Mozart for a while, I heard.
True. Yeah, it was my first production. Mozart was my first production after school, because I studied opera in Holland, and in Mozart there is a part, his first girlfriend who was an opera singer. So I was an opera singer in a musical. It really was kind of like a hybrid role, and that was really good for me. And that's how I got into music theater after school. And it was really great. It was in Antwerp. It's originally a German musical, but we did a Dutch translation. And it was really amazing to start off in such a big show.
Mozart must have been sort of a preparation for Christine, mixing opera and musical style singing.
Yeah, yes, definitely. Yeah, Christine is, of course, also one of those hybrid roles. And over the years, over the decades, it's been sung differently, from very classical to very more modern. And you can do it both ways. I think both are legit ways to do it. But yeah, Mozart was a good preparation for that, because it's also kind of balancing classical singing with more modern singing.
So, how did the audition come about for Christine? It was for the tour last year, I think.
Yeah, well, actually, it's a funny story, kind of an embarrassing story. I was in the Lloyd Webber Gala, the Germany tour, and I sang some things from Phantom. I think I sang the Phantom of the Opera with the top E, and I sang Think of Me, I think, sometimes, and All I Ask of You. That's what I sang. And I recorded that, and I just sent it all to Cameron McIntosh, hoping that someone would see it. And they did, and they invited me for the town auditions in, I think it was 2019. my first round went really well, but my second round went horrific, was really bad, and I got cut, and I wasn't even invited to the tour auditions. But then I think something went wrong with the tour casting, because it was October and the rehearsals were going to start in January, and they still didn't have an alternate for Christine. They didn't have a Phantom as well, so they were missing a few people, and they redid some of the auditions, and then they invited me. And at first I thought, why am I even doing this? Because I think they really don't want me. But it was a different team, and yeah, we connected very well, and it went very well, and they picked me for the alternate. So after a very, very bad town audition, I got into the tour. Thank God.
The tour was very short for you, I believe, sadly.
Yeah. It was really sad. We rehearsed, I think, for 2 months, and we had been doing tryouts, and they went really well. Of course, it was kind of a new version of the show. Of course, not completely new, but some things were redone, and it was working so well. And we were really excited to have our big opening night in Manchester. But after only 2 weeks of performances in Leicester, initially we got paused due to COVID, and then later it was fully cancelled because it was clear that theatres were not going to open. And otherwise, I think if that wouldn't have happened, I would still be performing in the tour, because I think we were running until July. So yeah, it was really sad. Only 2 weeks of performances. And for me, as the alternate, because you don't do every show, I think I did Christine 4 or 5 times. So yeah, really short run, unfortunately.
How did you get to the invite for the West End?
Well, so last year when we were closed, the tour was closed, the West End was closed as well. And the theatre, the building, so Her Majesty's Theatre, it's pretty old, and the show has been in there for 30 plus years. So they were going to fully redo the entire building and the set. And they thought, when we open again, we want a new cast and a new production. So that's why everyone was let go from the Phantom West End cast, and they needed a new cast, basically. And the director from the tour, Seth, is also going to be directing West End. So when he was looking for people, he obviously looked for to a lot of people from the tour that he's worked with before, and I was one of those people. And yeah, I was lucky enough to make the cut this time to West End.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Were you aware of the Phantom musical or a fan of the musical before you auditioned?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, a massive fan. I've never seen it. I'm Dutch, and were lucky enough to see it in Holland. But I think I was around, maybe I wasn't even born. I don't know, but I was really young, so I didn't see it. And obviously in Holland, it's never been on ever since, which is a really big shame. But I got to see it in New York when I went there when I was 19, and I absolutely loved it. I already knew the music. I've been singing the music in my bedroom very often, but I really loved the show itself. And then I saw it again on West End twice even. Yeah, it's just such a beautiful show. The music is so overwhelming. But I think when I did the show myself as Christine, it just went to a whole other level, the appreciation of the piece. And when you get into the character, and some of the trios and the duets are a bit hard to understand if you're in the audience and you hear all the people singing at the same time. But if you hear the musical more often, or if you do it yourself, then you know what each character is saying when, and it just creates this whole new level of appreciating the show. So I think if I would see it now, it would be even better. It's one of those shows that gets better if you see it more often.
That's true, because for me, it took me such a long time to understand every part in Prima Donna, for example. Yes.
Oh, it's oh my God. It's like Prima Donna is one of it's after Managers 1, the scene for the tour. I think they rehearsed that every single day. And when rehearsals were done and they just rehearsed things that needed rehearsing, it was always that scene. Because it's so hard to do right, because there are so many people singing at the same time, and it really takes time to understand it as a performer and as audience as well. Yeah.
True, because there's a bit online, I believe, and from the very first cast with Steve Barton rehearsing Prima Donna as well. It's looking.
Yeah.
what
Yeah, it's so much going on at the same time. But that's, I think, it's what brings depth to the piece, and it's what makes it more fun when you see it more often. Because some shows really get a bit boring if you've seen them a few times. But I think Phantom's really good at, you know, becoming more and more interesting.
True. And what does Christine's character mean to you? Her being.
Well, I think her line. I also read the book, and I think the book is, with Christine's line, it's quite similar. It's really a story of her growing up, because she is, of course, a Scandinavian child, and in Scandinavia there are a lot of folklore stories and a lot of myths and fantastic stories, and she believes all of them, and she's really into this mythical kind of thinking. And then when her father dies, she kind of loses herself in that mythical thinking, believing that he is an angel, and that she really still depends on him and on the angel, and she is just kind of lost in her own world, her own child's world. My English is sometimes it's still a bit rough, but like her children's imagination. And over the piece, she really learns that she needs to stop depending on herself, and that she is really the only person that she can truly depend on. And I think the turning point for that is the Sitzprobe. Oh no, sorry, it's Managers 2. So just before the Sitzprobe, when they tell her that she will be kind of like used as bait to catch the Phantom. And then she realizes that everyone has left her, even Raoul at that point. And she really needs to just find herself. Yeah, so she really grows up, and then during Wishing You Were Somehow Here Again, she just lets go of that mythical thinking and of being in the past. And she really comes to the present and finds herself and grows up, basically. It's really a story of growing up, I think.
Yes, I can feel it, because but that's what I was connected to as with Christine when I was young too.
Yeah.
Get that feeling of sort of being lost and then having to find yourself growing up.
Yeah, finding your own strength and
Yes.
knowing that sometimes the biggest help comes from within rather than from someone outside of you. And that's really what she finds during Wishing You Were Somehow Here Again. And then later in the final lair, it's really, I remember that I was rehearsing the scene with Killian, our Phantom, and that she brings back the ring that he gave to her, and then she walks off stage and she leaves him. And I remember always when I gave him the ring, I wanted to soothe him because he was crying, and I would just be like, I'm so sorry I'm doing this. But then Seth, our director, said, I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to be nice to him. I want you to maybe not even look at him, just give him the ring. Don't do anything with your face and just walk off. And I felt, but that's terrible, because she's being so rude to him. But he said, no, it's not that she's being rude to him. It's that she's being true to herself. She has to choose herself rather than depending on a man once more. She is choosing to be her own woman at that point when she gives back the ring. And that's how you should look at it. And when he said that, I thought, yeah, that really makes sense, because that is exactly what she's doing. And I felt that moment is, as even though it's incredibly sad for Eric, of course, for the Phantom, but for Christine, it's such an empowering moment, because she breaks loose from every man in her life. She just gives back the ring and thinks, no, I'm going to be doing it all by myself now, even though then she marries Raoul, obviously, which is a bit, but she really found herself. You don't know that. And that, yeah. How do you feel about Love Never Dies, about the show?
Well, I'm not really sure about it, because I love the music, but I never know if that was really how they would go on. And I think, well, Michael Crawford said the same. He doesn't think it would be like that. He thought Eric would be differently then. Yeah.
No, it's a bit hard for all the Phantom fans to see her die in Love Never Dies, and to see Raoul have become this. I think he's an alcoholic or something, right? In Love Never Dies. Yeah, it's a bit hard. The music's beautiful. Yeah.
True. I think there were so many rewrites that I think there's a bit of every rewrite that makes it confusing to some people, I think.
Yeah. I think there have been many versions of the show as well. They did it in Germany too.
So
I think even. Yeah.
It was different again, I think.
Yeah, I think it was a different one. A few friends of mine were in there, but the music's really lovely.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think when you listen to it, you can somehow imagine your own story.
Yeah, always. Yeah.
Last question, what are your plans for the future, and have you got any message for the Phantom fans?
My plans for the future. Oof. I don't really know. I always had a plan to be in Phantom or be on West End, and that's happening this year, so that's a big box checked. And I don't know. I just hope that I think my biggest dream is that the show would come to Holland, and that I could do it there in my own language. That would just be really amazing.
That would be wonderful.
And yeah, that would be great. I really hope that they will do that soon. And a message for the Phantom fans: just come see the show, because Seth, our new director, he's really good, and he's got such a passion for the show. He used to be the assistant to the original director, and he tells a lot of stories about him, and he's got such a good vision and such a passion. So I'm sure that what he will do with the new West End production, even though it will be very true to the original, will be amazing.
How have things been since we last spoke?
Really, really busy, but a lot of fun as well. We rehearsed for a good few weeks, and it was a really nice process. It's a great cast. A lot of people that I already knew, and some people, like most people, have already done the show before. So it was very interesting to reinvent it again. And I think we've done a great job. I think the show that is up and running now is really good. So I'm very happy to be in it.
Yes, because I heard from a lot of people who are worried about the changes and everything, but some who went said it was really good. So that's great news.
Yeah, I think they stayed really close to the original, because Seth, our director, used to work with Hal Prince a lot, so he really knows what the original vision was, and he really respected that. And I think the changes that we made really work for what we're doing now. For example, the Pegasus, I think that might be the biggest change, the horse instead of the angel. I think it works better because now everyone in the theater can see it, because the angel wasn't visible from some places. So I don't think there are that many changes, but the changes that are made really work very well.
Wonderful. What is it like for you to make your West End debut?
Oh, it was amazing. Yeah, it was such a, of course, it's always been a dream of mine, of probably every musical theatre actor, to be on West End. And definitely as a Dutch person, it was always very much a dream. And it came true. It was really weird and so much fun. And I'm enjoying it every night to be in London and to be on the West End. And I really hope that soon I can make my debut in the role as well.
Of course.
In the role of Christine, and that'd be very exciting as well. But yeah, it was very special.
You did a lot of cover runs, and some people want to know what a cover run is and what you do.
So when you rehearse a show, at first it's just the cast with the principals and the ensemble. And then after opening night, the covers are going to rehearse, sometimes already a bit before. And when those rehearsals are done, they close with a cover run, which means it's a run with all the covers in their part. So the first cover run is all the first covers, and the second cover run is all the second covers. So it's basically a show with a completely different cast, and it's always really special and fun, because some people have a very different take on a part, and it both works, and it's always really nice to see. So we had the first cover run a few weeks ago. The second cover run was last week, and it's a lot of work. You put in a lot of hours, but it's really worth it. And always the cover run is such a special moment. There's no audience there, so it's basically a show without an audience and with all the covers on stage. And it's really something for the cast, and yeah, it's always a very special moment. And we had a great time. It went really well, both cover runs, fortunately.
So do you share costumes with the other cast members? Do you have your own costumes?
No, I have my own costumes. All the costumes are very tight and fitted, and we're all different heights, and so we all have every single one of us has their own costumes, except for the cloaks, the All I Ask of You cloak and the Wishing cloak. I share that one with Beatrice, the second cover, because we are the exact same height. So they didn't need to make a new one for that. But that's a coincidence. It's not always the case, but we share a cloak because we are both 5'7", the exact same. So.
Yes. When this show goes out, you'll all be celebrating the 30th anniversary. Do you think anything special will happen on the night?
Yes, well, they haven't told us yet, but I think there is a press party on the 9th, and then on the Monday after, we have a party with the cast and crew, but it's very small because of COVID. They couldn't do anything really big, which is, it's a shame, but it's understandable. So we will have a little celebration, and maybe we'll do something special. I don't know. We'll probably hear next week. I don't know yet.
Well, looking forward to it. So whatever it is,
yeah.
It's always special.
Yeah.
So now some questions from listeners for you. What does Phantom mean to you?
Well, Phantom, I think it's such an iconic show in the music theatre repertoire that to every music theatre actor, it's iconic and it's something you would want to do. But to me, specifically, probably because I studied opera, it's, I think, the musical that comes closest to what I'm trained to do and what I really like to do. So it's always, yeah, it's very special. I feel like I can truly be myself when I'm doing Phantom. And yeah, I'm so happy to be back in the show, because it was the first, well, it wasn't the first big show I did, but the first big role I did as alternate for the tour. So yeah, it really has a special place in my heart, and I'm very happy to be back doing it.
Do you think Christine's feelings for Eric the Phantom are complicated?
Yeah, I definitely think so. Of course, in the beginning, she doesn't know that that Eric is a person, because she thinks that he's an angel, the angel that her father sent her. So she had this very special and deep relation with him, and then when she finds out that he's actually a person, that he's a man, that really changes things, and that's what makes it really complicated. And of course, the fact that they could never really be together makes it very complicated. But they share a connection on a very deep level. I think their love for music just makes them understand each other in a way that she doesn't really get with Raoul, so that their feelings are much deeper, but it could never be. So that's why it's a much more complicated relationship than Christine and Raoul.
Yes. I think some people think that Think of Me, some of the lyrics foreshadows their story.
Yeah, I think it definitely does. It is really, it's actually strange that Think of Me is an opera in an opera, so it's not technically, the lyrics aren't necessarily part of the story, because it's of course supposed to be an aria in the opera Hannibal, but it really does connect to the story as if she could have been singing it for him. Yeah.
Oh, yes. What do you think people can learn from the story?
What they learn from the story?
Yeah.
I think don't judge a book by its cover. I think that's, well, does the story have a moral? Well, I think it's that you really have to know someone without looking at them sometimes to really see who they are and what their personality is, and that what you see from the outside isn't always what is inside. Because the Phantom, even though he pretends to be a monster, it's kind of what the world made him, because looking at him, they all thought he was a monster, and that's why he started behaving like one, whereas he probably isn't. He's a very sensitive person, a genius, a musician, and the world just turned him into something because he looked a certain way, but it wasn't necessarily who he was from the inside.
That's true. I think, yes, most people feel that about him, but they really understand the story.
Yeah.
What is your favorite song? In Fantine?
It changes, actually. It really changes. It's my favorite song in Fantine. It used to be Wishing. I really liked Wishing. But when I started to do the entire part, I always very much enjoy Twisted Every Way in Manager's 2, in the second Manager scene. The little part that she sings is one of my favorite bits.
It's a lovely melody.
Yeah, I really like that. I've always really enjoyed it. But probably to do, I would say the rooftop leading into All I Ask of You. I think All I Ask of You is sometimes it's a bit boring. I'm not that romantic myself, but I really like the rooftop scene before, and I think that's probably what I like most.
What is your favorite memory of doing the show so far?
Oh, I remember. I think. Oh well, I've got lots of good memories doing this show, but I think my best memory was when I had my debut as Christine in Leicester, and when I came on in the boat, when the boat goes on stage, and I think that was doing that for the first time in costume, because I remember my rehearsal process was a bit hectic, so I hadn't done it a lot, and definitely not the costume and the wig. I think only once before. But then when I did it, it all went very smooth, and there was an audience for the first time, and that was just really magical. And that was really the moment I realized, oh my God, I'm Christine Daaé right now. And I think that was the best moment probably so far. But I've had lots of good moments, but that one was really special. Yeah, being in the boat and just seeing the candelabras come up, and
Look at it, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it really is. You really feel like you're really in the Phantom's lair when you're there. With all the smoke and the boat and behind you, and yeah, it's really magical.
Did you read the book?
I did. Yeah, I did. Yeah, my mother bought it for me. I think, did she buy it for me when I did the role? I think she bought it for me when I got the role. No, it's not true actually. I think she bought it for me a few years before. I think I already had the book, but I never read it because my mother buys me a lot of books, and I'm not a big reader, so they kind of pile up. But then when I got the role, I read it, and so I did read the book.
Did you have the Dutch copy or the English one?
I think, oh no, I read the English one because I after that my colleagues read my version, and they could only have done it if it was in English. So I read the English one, yeah.
Because I had the Dutch one before I had the English one, and later I found out there are parts in the Dutch one that aren't in the English one. So when I talked to English fans, they were always confused about why did you get that part, and then in later translations the other bits were included. That's really odd, but
oh, I didn't know that. No, maybe I should read the Dutch one as well. Maybe but no, I read the English one.
The original translator was Victorian, and he didn't think that some parts were suitable to the English ladies.
Oh, okay. I don't know which version I read then, but that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Have you ever seen another production other than the Lloyd version, or another movie?
No, I have seen the movie, but I have never seen another theatre production. No, I've only seen the Hell Prince version, the version that we're doing. I've seen pictures and some footage of the production they did in Greece last year, or the year before, I don't know. But other than that, no, I never really have seen anything else.
What do you think of the original cast with Michael Crawford and Sarah Brightman?
Oh, they're great. I also really liked the original alternate, Claire Moore. She saw the show, I think, last week. I never really met her, but yeah, I'm a big fan of the original cast. I think I think it's really special, and it's funny that the Phantom's dressing room right now in the building is still really huge. He's got like a few rooms and it's like a proper apartment actually. And apparently that was because, of course, the original Phantom was such a big star that they made that for him. So.
I think also to separate him from the other cast, I think so he would be in isolation for the entire show.
Yeah, he really liked that. I've heard stories that he was really big on that. So yeah, and it worked. It's quite a lonely track, I would say, Phantom. You don't really see a lot of people from the ensemble when you are doing it. That's not necessarily, unless you want to and you walk into people's rooms, but
yes.
if you don't, you wouldn't have to, yeah.
I spoke to one Phantom who said he really didn't like that. So he always invited people in his dressing room because he felt so lonely.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it depends on the person. But yeah, no, it's a lonely track. It is, you're quite on your own doing it.
What characteristics do you share with Christine, do you think?
I think our curiosity, we're both very curious, but also maybe she's very superstitious and she believes, she's very naive, definitely in the beginning of the show. And I think I share that with her. I have that with her in common in a way that I always tend to believe what people tell me. And if there would be an angel in my, like someone in my mirror, I could believe it's an angel as well. I probably have that in common with her. So yeah, so some people say, oh, she's a bit crazy, but I think she just looks at things in a different way, and I think we share that.
I think she's a really believer in magic and in magical feelings. I think actually that's the great thing to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Our director said that of course, Christine she's Swedish and she grew up there, and he said, well, she just really grew up in a Scandinavian environment of folklore and these mythical stories, and that's how she was raised and where she grew up, and that's why she thinks the way she does, and maybe that's true.
Do you think Christine would give music up for Raoul?
She would what?
Do you think Christine would give up music or a career for Raoul?
Yeah, I think she probably would. I don't know. I think because the Phantom really got her back into music, because music was, of course, a big part of her life as her father was a violinist. And then when he died, she kind of gave up on that. And the Phantom brought back her passion for it. But then at the end of the story, of course, she leaves the Phantom. And in my way of seeing it, she kind of maybe leaves behind the passion of music with him. But I think that's of course, it's up for interpretation. Everyone would look at that in a different way, probably. But I think her love for the music is inherently tied to her love for the Phantom. That's how I would look at it. Well,
it's an interesting thought, and think about it. Think that could be true. Do you think Eric's life would have been different in this time?
Yeah, I think so. I think we are much more open to people who look different, or who think different from ourselves. Not completely, of course. I mean, there's a very our society is very focused on appearance still, maybe even more than it used to be. But I think that someone could be herself more than in Victorian times now. Might be wrong, I don't know, but that's what I think. Yeah.
Yes, I think because in Victorian times, a lot of people thought that people were evil just by the way they looked. So
yes, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that there was a kind of a mental state tied to how you looked, and that's something we've come back from. So I think that it would be different, and maybe even they say that he calls what his disfigurement an infection. And if it was indeed an infection, it probably means that now we could have treated it when he was young. So medically, there would probably be a lot more they could do for him now. So I guess I wouldn't even look that way nowadays.
I think so too, and obviously his parents would be different now than they were then.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah.
Well, hopefully at least.
Yeah.
Why do you think Phantom is the second longest running musical on the West End?
Ooh. I don't know. I think it's really iconic. But then, of course, once it was a new musical, so it had to become iconic. I think maybe, I don't know, it's just so big. It's really a thing you have to see once in your life, because the music is so overwhelming. The story is it really takes you so many places. I don't know. I don't really know. Why is it so iconic? Because it's great music. And it's about love and a love triangle. And I think that's what people really like to see. And the music comes with a vocal quality that is so overwhelming that it's just something that people really want to see, even now, 35 years later.
Do you have a message for the fans?
Yeah. If you haven't seen it yet, come see the show, because I know that some people were a bit hesitant to see it because they thought things might have changed. But I think we really haven't changed that much, and it's a really great show, and we reinvented it. And yeah, it's still the same Phantom. As our director would say, it's less original but more brilliant. So. Yeah, and come see it, and I think that you will really like it.
How are you? It's been a while since we.
Yeah, no, I'm good. It's been a while. Yeah, no, I'm really well, thanks.
It's so great to hear, and I've been following you online, and you've really been doing some amazing stuff in the last few years.
Yeah, no, it's been great. Yeah, I've done Phantom of the Opera for 2 years, and then after it, Les Miserables. So yeah, I've been really lucky.
Well, congratulations on 40 years of Les Miserables.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's a special year. I was maybe going to be part of the 40th, but I decided that 2 years was long enough. But it's very special to see it now, see it all happen.
So how was your time on the show? Because from what I saw on your Instagram, it was an amazing few years.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, it was very special to be a part of Les Miserables. It's of course something I think that every actor always dreams of doing because it's such a special show. And I never really expected to go into it necessarily. And then when they asked me to cover Fantine, I was like, wow, yeah, of course I would like to do that. It was really special. Yeah.
And that's such an amazing role. And usually the sopranos don't get those roles. So it's amazing how you...
It's true. Yeah, a lot of people do Cosette. But there's a few now. The woman who plays Fantine at the moment was also a Christine once and a Cosette. But yeah, it's usually not the role that Christine's go into. But yeah, I was lucky enough to do it.
You had some amazing cast members because you're Dutch and you had several Dutch cast members as well.
Yeah, we did. We had a lot of cast members because of the anniversary coming up. So yeah, I had a lot of different Valjeans and Javers and you name it. Yeah.
I also had Milan.
Yes, from Holland. That was a lot of fun. We actually went to college together. I think he was in the year above me. So yeah, it was really special to do Les Mis together.
And you must have had some time to share some lovely memories of college and everything.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, we did. So when he came over, I think he joined halfway in the year, and it was yeah, it was a lot of fun. I really miss him. Yeah, he's back in Holland now.
How did you prepare for Les Mis and Fantine? Did you read the book and everything?
Yeah, I did. Someone gave me the book, and I read. To be honest, I read mostly Fantine's part because obviously, of course, she dies very early in the book. So I prepared in that way, but I also really wanted to give her my own touch and see what the song and the words mean to me personally, because of course I'm not a mother, and I wanted to give it something that really meant something close to me. So I think I sang I Dreamed a Dream different every show depending on how I was feeling, and yeah, it felt amazing to be able to give a role that is so iconic your own try, and yeah, it was really nice.
How did you see Fantine? Because her story is so tragic, really.
Yeah, it is. But it's also a story of, I think, throughout the entire story, she doesn't lose hope. She's always still quite hopeful, even towards the end. So I think she's quite a positive character. I don't think you can play a character like that as dramatic and as tragic, because then it just becomes a little bit much. I feel like you need to be very hopeful and a little bit lighter so that the audience can really connect with you and then be really heartbroken once you die.
A lot of people forget that she was actually very, very young in the story.
She was, yeah. I think, of course, in the musical, it all looks as if it happens very fast, but in the book, it's a story that goes on for a few years until she finally dies. So I think in the beginning, she's like 22, probably, and around, I think she's around 27 when she dies, probably, roughly.
So still very young.
Still very young, yeah.
Very all that.
Yeah, yeah.
How the story is set up, because she starts as this young girl who meets her first love, and then bad things just keep happening to her all the time.
Yeah, it's very tragic. She just goes downhill really fast. Definitely in the show, because it's so fast paced, and her storyline is like 20 minutes, I think. So it goes really, really fast from being in the factory to being in a bed dying. And then that is really challenging, but it's also, yeah, it's very heartbreaking to watch.
Do you still, because I know it happens in the past, Fantine still get to play other roles during the show?
Yes, yeah. I think the story that I heard, but I'm not sure if it is true, that was that Patti LuPone, who was the first Fantine, she actually only did the Fantine scenes, and then in between her death and the epilogue, she would go out to the theatre and be in cafes or shopping or do whatever she wanted to do. But that once she forgot the time and she missed the epilogue, that ever since all the other Fantines have to be on the barricades in ensemble costumes. I'm not sure if the story is true, but I really, I really liked it. But yeah, we have to be on the barricade. Yes.
That must be a switch to go from that to suddenly on the barricade.
Yeah, it is, but it's also fun. It also keeps it light, and it keeps it. Otherwise, I think it's a very lonely track. And now it's nice that you can be with the ensemble and the other people.
True, but what do you think makes Les Miserables so enduring to audiences around the world?
I don't know. I think probably there's something in it for everyone. There's so many characters with different storylines, and there's probably every person will be able to relate to one of the people. And of course, the music is just incredibly beautiful.
It's true, and I think the person you relate to, I think, can switch throughout life.
Yeah, absolutely. It can be a different person every time you see it.
Yeah, because I heard a lot of people that I had that too. That when you were young, you couldn't really relate to what Javert was saying, and later you think, yeah, there's something.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think a lot of people see him as the bad guy. Sometimes he even gets booed when he takes his bow. But yeah, it's true. Definitely, when you get older, you do agree with with some of the things that he's saying, and you know where he's coming from.
Because when I was a kid, as you said, it was oh, he's so mean to Valjean all the time, and why does he do that? I mean, because he believes in something that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, he just does what he thinks is right, and he really stands up for what he believes in. So yeah.
And a lot of people, I think, because there's more in the book, don't know that he was a minority himself, how he grew up and everything.
Yes. Yeah. He actually, I think he was born in jail. He was born in a prison. So he did come from the gutter, and he stayed on the right path. And then that's probably why he thinks there's no excuse for other people to, like Jean Valjean, steal a loaf of bread. Like he thinks however hard things get, you will always stay on the right path. So yeah, and there's something to say for that as well, of course.
Yes. I think there's a lot of people out there who feel that way. Also, with when one person has something and they see another person that struggles with the same thing more, they feel, well, if I can do it, you can. And
I know, absolutely, yeah.
but you also, as you said, you also start in another enduring musical with Phantom.
Yes, that was the first one I did when I came to the UK. Yeah.
It was and also your West End debut.
And also my Western debut, yeah. First on the tour, but of course the tour was cut short because of COVID, and then and then luckily we transferred to the West End, yeah.
So how did it feel to start on the West End?
Yeah, it was really special. It was towards the end of a really weird year of COVID where everything had been closed and I had to go back to Holland for a while because in England there was just nothing to do, really. And I think it was just before my 25th birthday. I remember that I made my West End debut, and it was really, it was really special. I can't really describe it.
And in a way, you made it twice because first you were in the ensemble, and then your actual Christine debut.
Yeah, I think my Christine debut also was like, I think it was the day before my birthday or something. It was very close to my birthday, so it was very it was like a little gift for my birthday that I got to do the part. And playing the part again after so long, because I think it had been more than a year since I've had done it. And then to do it on the West End, yeah, that was really special. Yeah, that was really a dream come true.
And we talked about how you saw the role before you did it. Is there anything that changed for you, how you saw it near the end?
I don't know. What did I say last time? What was my view on the role?
You didn't really agree with how you were directed for the tour. I remember you saying.
I think maybe I do remember that but that was both for the tour and the West End. That a lot of people ask her whether they always ask, are you Team Christine or Team Team Phantom or Team Raoul? And I always say I'm Team Christine. Because I think it's just such a story of growing up and finding yourself. And in the end, of course, she chooses Raoul. But I think in the end, she should really be choosing herself. And in a way, she is as well. And yeah, I think it's not only a love story, but it's also a story of coming of age and growing up, and a story of grief and moving past that. And I think those aspects are also really important in the story.
I think it's kind of interesting how Les Mis and Phantom basically have sort of the same fan base. It's interwoven.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that like both shows. Yeah, there's a few that do only one of them, but there's a lot of them. I think it's probably the music, because it's so big and so emotional and so heightened, and I feel like that would probably both of them would speak to a similar audience.
It's both about stories about people who overcome and who
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. What are your favorite stage memories of both shows?
Oh, I think Les Mis is definitely One Day More. Doing One Day More is always such a powerful feeling. I feel like Les Mis is much more of an ensemble show than Phantom is. Phantom is really about the leads, whereas Les Mis also has a really strong place for the ensemble. And I think One Day More is such an amazing thing to do. Definitely, for example, on West End Live, singing that twice. And that I think that's my favorite stage memory for Les Mis. And for Phantom, I think probably the first time I was in the boat during the shows, where you're in the boat and then all the candles come up. I think that's one of my favorite memories, probably, because it's such a magical. It's a really magical thing, because usually when you're on stage, you're on stage, you can see the people in the wings and the audience, but in that moment it's so dark and there's so much smoke that you're really only seeing the boat and the Phantom. It's like it's just the two of you there, and it's very special.
It must be, because
Yeah.
you're in your own world for a little while.
Yeah, you can really get lost there. And I think that's also what I really did enjoy about Christine, is that it's such a long role. You've got so much time on stage. You can really grow into your performance and explore so many sides of the character. Whereas Fantine, of course, it's basically 20 minutes. And it's all very, very extreme and heightened in those 20 minutes, but then it's done. It's a lot shorter. And I feel like in Christine, you can lean into it a bit more. And I think I did prefer that. But it's hard to compare both roles because they are both very different.
Funny thing is, Phantom is celebrating 40 next year, so it's
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, they're 1 year behind Les Mis. Yeah.
amazing that two of those, two of the biggest musicals came back to back.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
I think that's also where there's an overlap in fans because it's at. I think you can hear the time of the musical somewhere in it.
Yeah, I think that's true. Yeah, the grandeur of those shows is very similar. Yeah.
Do we have new plans for the future? Any hopes, dreams?
Really, I really wanted to take some time to just unwind because I've been in shows back to back for 4 years. I've even done Les Mis and Phantom at the same time at some point because I was emergency cover for Christine still for a very long time.
Someone remembered it. It was yeah.
Yeah, I did. I randomly did Christine after 7 months again, I think, and there were times that I'd almost had to do it again. And because I was doing both shows, and it's 6 days a week, only 1 day off, and it's kind of all consuming. It really takes over your life, and it's great because of course it's a lot of fun. But I really needed some downtime, so that's what I'm doing now. And yeah, I hope that something else will come.
I hope so too. And there are rumors of Phantom coming to Holland. Would you do that if you
Been there for a very, very, very long time. For years, I've heard that Phantom's coming to Holland. I would love it. Yeah, of course, if it came to Holland, I would love to do it. Maybe I'm a bit old. They keep casting people younger and younger now. But yeah, no, I would love to do it.
I think Christine shouldn't be that young because
No, yeah, I know, I agree. In the past, of course, Christines were always in their 30s or like early 30s, late 20s. And nowadays they prefer people to be a bit younger and to sound a bit younger, depending on the production and the director, I guess. But yeah, so I don't know what they would like in Holland, but if they would have me, I would absolutely do it.
it would be great if you could, because it would be in your own town.
Yeah, in my own language. That would be great. I would absolutely love that. Yeah.
Is there anything you want to talk about that I haven't asked yet?
No, not necessarily. No. I talk about a lot.
Would you have a message for Les Miserables fans?
For Les Miserables fans. Well, I think this year it's such a great year because there's so many different productions that you can see. You can see the World Tour, like the Stadium Arena Tour, and it's a really, really different vibe than the West End production. So there's two very different versions out there. So that's exciting. And of course, this year, because of the anniversary, there's a lot of Amdram productions happening. And I think there's a few really, really good ones out there. So if they get to be able to see them, then yeah, definitely go because they're all super amazing.
Okay, thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much and see you next time, maybe.
Bye.
Bye.
Behind the Mirror of Music with Dannii Cohen.